Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition for Friday Night Smackdown. It's been a while. Obviously, me and Tyler have been out of it for not say out of it for a while. Mostly from my end because the last week and a half I've been sick, so I've been under the weather a little bit. So the last week and a half, but we are back at it again for Friday Night Smackdown. Tyler will be joining me shortly as we will be getting started on the road to WrestleMania. Obviously, showing some highlights from the Royal Rumble this past Saturday night, and I was a bit, I would say, not. I don't know. This year's Royal Rumble just had a lot of hype, which is kind of just felt flat in certain areas. I mean, case in point, the men's Royal Rumble was kind of flat. Um, Obviously, that U.S. title match was okay, but really stupid anticlimactic finish. That sort of goddamn thing. But other than that, um, that's just me. What's going on, Brandon? Long time no see here on the channel. But it's gonna be a lot of fun tonight. That. And obviously with NXT though, for those who are gonna be joining me this Tuesday night or the Tuesday following Sunday, which by the way, too, Sunday it will be NXT Vengeance Day 2024, and obviously I'm not going to be alone for that show or for that pay-per-view. I'm going to be joined by my buddy Ghoulie. It's going to be a first that me and Ghoulie have done something with NXT because for those who've seen the multiple coverages of NXT, yes, and there was a bit of a break period in between. It just was mostly me. Obviously covering NXT, like the shows itself. Even did a couple more, mostly the PLEs. Well, the past PLE that I did, Deadline, which by the way was a good show. Don't get me wrong, but just I pretty much just fly solo with NXT. So, and that is I will definitely, and we're gonna definitely bringing that back. I obviously, so that's gonna be a lot of fun as well. But and yeah, I mean, at the same point, and obviously we did. And for those who have seen the streaming schedule for this week, like I said, things are going to change a little bit from week to week. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting though. Regardless, though, and obviously showing Cody Rhodes walking into the building earlier this afternoon, and obviously with Damage Control. Hopefully, whenever this payoff for Bailey's face turn. Well, that's gonna be Of course, freaking goddamn StreamYard decided not to be a little bit buggy, but that's besides the point. And of course, we kick it up with Logan Paul making his way. And boy, I know a lie. Give me 1 second. Even though like the most stupidest anticlimactic finish I seen on a pay-per-view from WWE. But the match itself was pretty okay. Like, it was nothing too special. Obviously, your commentary for tonight, Wade Barrett and Corey Graves, because obviously Pat McAfee is going to be on Raw. Which is interesting to see how Pat McAfee and Michael Cole will be pairing up on Monday nights, which is going to be very intriguing. But outside of that, man, it's been one hell of, I would say, the past week. And yes, I know we were supposed to do TNA yesterday, but obviously, meantime, we're not feeling it. Plus, dude, I was fucking tired. I was super tired because obviously being up early in that morning for work, and just never really felt really felt it to stream it. But we're gonna be back at it again next week, next Thursday for TNA Impact. But we'll see. Looks like I really can't complain that much. Damn, I recall him a piss. You know, that's and still got caught with the brass knucks. Yes, yes, we know. For those who have not seen the PLE, mm, mid cartel wise, maybe. Yeah, for those who are wondering, yeah, I know, and Tyler's having some technical problems. What's going on, RC? Oh yeah, and also before this escapes my brain, because me and Tyler, I'm texting Tyler now. Tyler's having these little problems with the Fox app because obviously, most of us are cord cutters, and if he can't make it, like I said, he's not. Don't get it twisted that he's not ducking. It's just these technical problems that he's been dealing with. And boy, it's happened like the last what 3 or 4 weeks ago. The last time we would try to do SmackDown, it took us almost an hour to get that shit set up. And yeah, so that's kind of what Tyler's dealing with right now. And if Tyler can't make it, it's just going to be me for the next 2 hour or for the next hour or so. Yep. KO. Yes, we know that he lost by TQ. You don't have to repeat. Now we got KO champs. Well, for someone who's actually here's the thing. I lived in Whoa, okay, there, Fox. Better fix your production problems. And RC, I don't know if you paid attention to, which I'll talk about in just a bit, that Kelsey Plum is actually content of seeing Caitlin Clark actually pass her for the all-time scoring record in college basketball. But yeah, don't really and yeah, don't and also too those for who are watching on Tyler's Twitter, don't get it twisted. Like as I said, that he's not. Oh, God damn, these Fox production needs to chill the fuck out. So yeah, Tyler, unfortunately, won't be. Well, whenever this. Yeah, it's. I don't know. Smack. The problem with SmackDown is it's the roster construction for me. Now, granted, yes, the SmackDown has a much better women's division than what Raw has, but the thing with Raw is, and the thing with Raw is too, before I almost got sidetracked for whatever reason, had the blue screen of death moment there. Yeah, if you look compare the women's division, I don't know, man, RC, but like I was saying, I think SmackDown Smack, good lord. And then remember, as long as my longest time as a fan for the last, what, soon to be 25? Good grief, I'm getting old. Since like the last 25 years, Raw just always seemed the superior brand. And I think that's kind of all well given. And yes, for those who go back to the early 90s, from like 93 to 1995, like that's where like pretty much all the cartoony bullshit that we're going with. And it was kind of crazy. But in reality, I don't know. I really hope. The thing is, too, I like some of the writing on SmackDown. I thought the women's division looks actually pretty decent. But the problem that I have with SmackDown is the mid card division is a little bit weak in a sense. Because obviously pretty much, when you look at compare between the Raw and SmackDown mid card division, Raw pretty much has that because with Gunther, which for those who are not really or this, I really hope if this does happen, because I do think at some point they're going to pull the trigger on him wearing the world title, World Heavyweight Championship, taking that off of Seth. But at the same time, here's the thing: I didn't start watching until I was 2, and that was in 1999. And yes, those were the days where, getting right at the peak, I would say, of the Attitude Era. But at the same time, in terms of wrestling, on the wrestling side of things, the British Bulldog, crappy theme. Let's be real, not to what he had in the early to mid 90s, which was his prime, where I think this was peak years. But seeing him at the downturn of his career, I think at this point before he passed away in 2003, God rest his soul, he didn't really look that impressive. You could tell there was heavy steroid use. Then again, that's kind of redundant. What everyone has done steroids in the night, as well. But, as well with Vengeance Day, which I actually want to talk about a little bit. And yes, I know I've been in and out of NXT a little bit because I've been exhausted as shit. Last couple Tuesdays. One of those things that's like, yeah, I was exhausted, but at the same time, I want to try to bring it back, or I'm definitely bringing it back. The thing is, too, I'm actually looking for a co-host for this, for NXT, for who does, follow NXT heavily. Because I don't know if I think I said this. I think I might have community post about this. I could be wrong. The thing is, it's kind of hard. Let's see, because originally the original idea was just let's give this a shot, see what happens. And over the good while, wasn't too bad. But just in terms of retaining viewership and that shit and nonsense like that, it's been kind of rough for NXT because a lot of people don't care because it hasn't been what it once was during the Black and Gold era. But like I said, I want to try to give NXT a chance in terms of the watch parties. And yes, at the same time, we're bringing back the retro watch parties because we originally had cut it with the axe because obviously with all the Vince McMahon crap that was going on. So yeah, there was a lot of weird changes that we were doing. And at the same time, we were retracting those changes at the same time because NXT for me, and look, I've liked the future, that this WWE that has with NXT. Now, granted, I think Shawn Michaels needs some better help, but that's here nor there because I know that y'all probably hear me say that 100 fucking times. But it's true. Shawn Michaels does need help writing NXT a little bit. I think there is potential for NXT to hopefully grow as the third brand because look, the tag. Yes, I know the tag division hasn't been what it once was. The only downside of that was seeing the hot potato of the NXT titles, and then you also had and also the women's tag team titles, which I think no one really had two shits about. And it's kind of crazy too. When I go back to watch the Black and Gold era on Peacock, it really, I don't know. I really miss those days where it's like you're making, and granted, actually nowadays are still making stars with guys like Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, who both, and especially with Braun Breaker, who actually was impressive in his Royal Rumble debut. Of obviously was taking Brock Lesnar's place, in the Rumble, which, and at the same time, Braun also hinted that he's going to stay on the main roster and take care of unfinished business against the Judgment Day, which I have no issues with that whatsoever, because I think Braun is ready for the main roster. And same with Carmelo Hayes. Now, there's probably going to be a lot of people who are going to be watching this. Dude, he really did. For a guy that has a football background, and yes, I know his uncle has been, his dad, the Rick Steiner, I'm sorry. And his uncle has been a bit controversial in the pro wrestling business, and Scott Steiner, who has his funny moments, don't get me wrong, with the Scott Steiner method during his TNA. I think his promo, was to Samoa Joe when he said, it's like, this fat son of a bitch, he's fat. And that promo, which was kind of funny. But, and yes, and a lot of WWE fans remember that crappy feud that he had with Triple H in the mid-2000s. I think, quite honestly, to answer your question, it's going to be Io, because I see Becky going after Rhea, for that matter, because the reason why, for me, I think if Bayley's going to go after Sky, it makes total sense, because let's be real, if you want to pull the face turn, yeah, he is a Steiner. A lot of people, and tonight Cody Rhodes makes his decision. Let's be real, it's going to be the most obvious choice of Roman Reigns. I'd be shocked if he picks Seth Rollins. Don't get me fucking wrong, but so it's going to be interesting to see what Cody's going to decide. And obviously, Logan Paul on commentary. Well, and yes, for those who are wondering, this is sponsored by not sponsored by Mountain Dew, but good shit. So we got Austin Theory, Kevin Owens going at it 1-on-1. Nice little club and blow to the back. And someone's got a shirt. Got a sign said, "Who's green shirt guy?" Good Lord. I don't know if I ever saw him. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. For some reason, it's just that the Rock and Roman thing screams WrestleMania for whatever reason. And it's funny because I made a tweet about this. After the Rumble? For those who are following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter as well. Like I said, you'll see me tweet some stuff. But in terms with guys like Drew McIntyre, which, boy, I think I've done a couple of videos on him, maybe one or two. Because I think technically there's going to be a second one coming up very soon. Whenever he hits the free agency market, so to speak, with Drew McIntyre, because there's a lot I gotta say with Drew McIntyre's usage. Don't get me wrong, the dude is mega over, but the problem is, oh God, I don't know if this is gonna. Boy, this is gonna be tough, because I know this is gonna ruffle with feathers. He's kind of this in a sense where he's kind of like the Dolph Ziggler in the Dolph Ziggler situation. Super over, constantly gives, and all this and all this stuff. But what has he really been rewarded post 2020? Let's be completely honest here. The dude's 0-7 in the title matches he's had since post 2020, and the dude had issues with the creative direction, and rightfully fucking so. And the dude has not been in the world. Well, like I said, either in the world title picture or in the for the IC belt. But that's outside of that. He's lost every single one of them that he's been in, and also at the same time, yes, put some banger matches out with that triple threat match with Gunther and also Sheamus. But I don't know, man. Drew, to me, I don't think he's staying. I really don't. Because if he does resign, like I said, I'd be surprised. Will I be shocked? Not. I don't think they're going to do that because they did that. They did that once with him, and that was putting him in 3MB. I think what in 2010, 20, because I know he left in 2014 after that, and actually kind of reinvented himself. It's nice little cannonball by Kevin Owens, but yeah, the only time they ever put him at that anything crappy was the 3MB gimmick. And a lot of people will just laugh at it now. Well, back then, not exactly laugh at it, but kind of cringe at it. You got three adult, the buff dudes wearing leather pants, and just never really looked right. I mean, Heath nowadays, yeah, I mean, he's still kind of killing it with TNA, as well. Gender, well, you got my thought. I think a lot of people have thoughts on gender. As Gooley puts it, my buddy, shout out to Mal Gooley, calls him General Balls, and rightfully so. The dude, boy, he's how do I explain this? He's like super horrible, but he's the kind of guy that, well, no one wants to see, basically. And at the same time, and you see Heath having better success elsewhere, and hell, not just Heath Slater, but you're just seeing guys like Nick Nemeth or Dolph Ziggler have already put on some really good for some good matches. Yeah, that's true. And look, I don't mind the workhorses. I really don't. I think that really does help anybody for that matter. But when in terms like guys like Drew McIntyre, hell, throw Dolph Ziggler in there before he got released. They decided to say, they try to give. And, there's nothing in return for all that hard work they put in. And that's not saying that's a bad thing, but it makes you question why. It's just one of those things. It's like, and like Dolph, I mean, look, the dude's been there, and it's kind of crazy the fact he's been there for almost, before getting released from WWE, was being there for over 2 decades, which is, I know, it's kind of mind-boggling to remember. But for those who don't remember, he also got to start with being a caddy for Kerwin White, aka Chavo Guerrero, and a lot of fans remember how bad that gimmick was. Good Lord. And obviously, look, Styles, here's the thing. I don't have no issues with AJ Styles, Rollins, or Randy Orton, because I think they can still all put good matches at this point in their careers. Now, Rollins is a different story because, well, he's suffering serious knee injuries in his career. Well, then again, I could be wrong, but I could be wrong. Reigns, well, we've been down that road before. For those who don't remember, yeah, the big dog ears. Hold up a second. Let me take the check. I am burning up in my studio. Give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry, I was burning up with that hoodie on because I thought it was going to be a little bit cold in here. But at the same time, like I was saying, it really like I said, it makes you question why with some of these guys. And, well, it really does suck. See guys like Drew really not get rewarded the hard work he's put in. And yes, people say, "Oh, what about 2020?" Yeah, granted, yes. But here's kind of where that downside kind of comes into play. Drew's was one of the guys, pretty much him. I think also Bailey also carried the pandemic era when you look at both the men's and women's division in 2020. Drew did all he could in 2020 during the pandemic era, gave pretty much all he had. Decides to lose the belt the second time to The Miz, who also gets squashed. I would say Shinsuke's been more prominent on WWE TV in recent memory, especially the last few weeks. And yes, I know. Oh, a nice little kick to the shoulder, which that's kind of more predictable, and a nice clothesline to follow up by KO. But Shinsuke's been on the best heel run, which we should have. I think back in WrestleMania 30, that's 31. Regardless, because the only like these because this is the proper heel one that Shinsuke's had in God knows fucking forever. The last time we ever seen him heel was just kicking people in the nuts, giving him low blows. Which, as like, what the fuck's the point of that? And now we got multiple headbutts by KO. I'm not saying it's not shocking. It's kind of, I kind of knew Bayley was going to win this thing because the way how this entire direction with her and damage control has been going on, her face turn is nice little second row DDT. Bayley is on probably hopefully on the best face turn she's going to get, and at the same time we're going to see damage control kick her out. And Swanton connects. Covered by KO. 1, 2, no, just a 2. And also there kicks out a 2. But yeah, Bayley, I'm not surprised she won the Royal Rumble because I feel like it made a lot of sense. At the same time, going after Io Sky, which hopefully, if you do this right, that should trigger her face turn and obviously her getting kicked out of damage control. And you're going to see the Kabuki Warriors on Asuka and Kairi Sane. Good Lord, almost forgot. Oh, God. And sternum first and shoulder first, right into the barricade or the ring post goes KO. And what was I rolling neck? Look, rolling neck breaker. 1, 2, no. So KO kicks out at 2. But, and Bayley, and like I said, I think Bayley's just one of those other part of the women's division never gets the love she truly deserves. And as I said too, she was up there with Drew McIntyre, especially in 2020, to carry that women's division through the pandemic era. And it's going to be interesting to see how if they're going to do this properly with this if there's going to be a face turn with her, because damage control needs to be done. Look, I'm not saying it's just say that's going to be an asshole, but I mean at this point, damage control. I mean, I gotta say, man, and yes, I know the women's Rumble is a little bit better than the. Oh, nice little blue thunder bomb. 1, 2, no. And like I said, Jade Cargill, I think they got very special plans with her, which, credit good 10 minutes from her in the very debut, which we have never seen. Well, then again, I'll take that back. I know 10 minutes in the Royal Rumble debut is not everyone's bag of onions. And Grayson Waller gets knocked out with the breast knocks. And now so does Austin Theory. And now KO smartly. 1, 2, 3. KO picks up the win via the brass knucks. RC, don't bring that up. That was fucking terrible. I'm sorry, Ronda winning the Women's Royal Rumble that one year was absolute bullshit. I think that might have been her second run, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, but that was one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen from a creative standpoint. And the fact, look, Ronda's first one was fine. I thought actually she had potential in her first run. Now, yes, she also had to miss some time, obviously, being a mom and shit like that, which happens. But yeah, at that point, her second run was, I think she lost it. Let's be real. And then, but outside of, but I just really, and yeah. And don't forget too, she was also part of that one of the crappiest MMA rules match. That's like, what the fuck are we even watching this for? Who even asked for this? But obviously we're going to see, seeing last Saturday, seeing Naomi's return to WWE. Obviously this Thursday will be the last appearance that she'll have for TNA Wrestling. Under her real name, Trinity Fatu. Obviously gonna be in a tag match, with Jordan Grace, who, by the way, I'm still kind of surprised that she actually made her debut in the Royal Rumble at number 5. But it is official. Obviously, Naomi has her SmackDown contract, and to be fair, she does scream. Jordan Grace, boy, I like what I've seen from her. Also, Tiffany Stratton being on SmackDown, huh? Intriguing. Okay. Oh, damn. Tiffany's trying to slap the ever living taste out of me. Let's. Looks like the earrings. Oh, for crap. So we got a fatal 4-way tag match, and probably one of the most tag. One of the tag teams I still hated when I did NXT was the fuck. Yeah, it was it. But now, God, can this anybody just get Pretty Deadly off my fucking screen from a character? And obviously, the Elimination Chamber, for those who are wondering, will start at 5 a.m. Eastern, 5 or 2 a.m. on the West Coast, and obviously 10 in the UK. But we also have a Fatal 4-Way Championship qualifying match with Cruz Del Toro, Joaquin Wild, with the good Lord, Pretty Deadly. Now I will say, well, replace John Morrison with Fandango. So what's going on, Zach? But yeah. So I don't know if you, yeah. So for those who are just coming in, obviously you haven't really seen Tyler. I make, and I'm gonna really, like I said, I addressed it earlier, but for those who are just popping in, whether you're coming from the YouTube side, Twitch, even on the Twitter side of things, yeah. So Tyler's having these technical problems again with the Fox app, so it's just going to be me for the entire night. So yeah, Tyler does. It's been rough with Tyler in technology, but like I said, it's just going to be me for the entire night. I'm going to hold it down to whenever Fox. But I mean, yeah, Zach. And yeah, and obviously with Stream Elements, give you guys the link so you guys won't have to see me do it. Save me the freaking time. But and at the same time, too, I don't know if I'm going to touch on this, but I'm actually really digging the SmackDown commentary because look, Kevin Patrick getting fired. Let's put don't like gonna lose his job. But if you put him in the backstage area, I'm okay with that. I would have been fine with that. But the fact you just straight off friggin' fire him / release him, well, not just rusty 2RC, but you got to think too, he's not the spring chicken he used to be. At the same time, he also tore his triceps, which I don't know if he's ever watched the replay of the Royal Rumble, where he saw, obviously, if you look at that featured shock DDT spot, he actually grabbed his triceps and, obviously we didn't really see another angle where I think a fan showed it where he actually said, tell the ref, or I think it was referee Jessica Carr who got, that he was hurt. And it's kind of funny because it's like, a lot of diehard, and look, credit to the Drew McIntyre. Look, I think Drew McIntyre has a really cool fan base, but at the same time, you got some of the fans are just so brain dead. Like, say, look, and the fact to say, the fact that, that Drew had to help him over or had to help Punk eliminate him, Drew, which indicates not exactly, but if you look at it too, like you see some ring rust, fatigue, the dude tore his freaking triceps for Christ's sakes. There's no strength in his arm. There was a lot of things that kind of went wrong with Punk. And my problem with that is the fact that you could have had him wrestle, not just wrestle house shows, but put him on regular television instead of just having these damn promo segments where you just, where he just cuts promos, like literally put him in matches to get him into actual ring, and get into the rhythm of things. Unfortunately, they never do that. I mean, well, they did when he was at a house show, but what's a house show we're going to be good, going to be good for? That, yeah. See, for me, my biggest nitpick is, especially, and I know Triple H has his faults here and there, but this was one, and yeah, true. That's, and shout out to Justin Credible too, who we had on, I think, the last week. I'm sorry, or the week before. I could be wrong. I think it might have been last week. Actually, let me check my computer, my calendar on my computer. Yeah, it was last week. He actually, and like I said, I think Punk could have put out a better performance had he had consistent matches on WWE TV, even also on house shows, to get into that rhythm, so like we want to see, him getting injured, no fatigue, rustiness, that sort of thing. Like, I know maybe a sticker for that, but it makes total sense to don't have your guys, not wrestle, and you just throw them into a guy like a pay-per-view like the Royal Rumble, and just try to expect anything less. And to be fair, yes, we did see a little bit, and not the greatest. And like I said, the men's Royal Rumble wasn't that really that great. Quite honestly, I would say, I think CM Punk at the 5 would have been a lot better. It, like I said, it's, for me, I just never enjoyed the men's Royal Rumble, especially this year. It just, I don't know, it just, something just felt off with this year's men's Royal Rumble. Now, the women's was a little bit better. Now, granted, yes, it was a bit sluggish. There was some botches here and there. But I would say, the Royal Rumble this year, I was excited, but also at the same time, I was kind of disappointed because, let's be real, that entire show kind of looked like it fell flat on arrival. And it's kind of crazy, too, that it was a lot better. But like I said, the only downside to that was it was very sluggish and, a few botches. But then again, botches happen all the time in this business. And dude, don't get me wrong, RC. I think everyone wants to see that because we did get some of the preview, and Jade Cargill herself say she wants to make magic with Bianca. Sign me the fuck up for that one. Don't get me wrong. I think this will be an excellent opportunity to see Jade Cargill going against one of the top stars in the women's division, especially on SmackDown for all that matter. And it's kind of crazy. What's going on, Steve? The skills, like I said, the only thing I don't really watch too much hockey because I just don't have the time to. But at the same time, I have I'd rather do something. But I mean, I'll watch most of my Flyers games here and there, and I don't know, but ever since with everything that was going on with the NHL and Hockey Canada and all that stuff. It's yeah. I mean, they did. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Cargill has shown to be the next star in that women's division because when you think about it, and this also applies to Raw too. When you combine Raw and SmackDown, you also got Becky Lynch, Bianca, Rhea, and then you have. I mean, Naomi's finally actually. Well, then again, she's already been a star. I would say her first go around, but outside of that, I mean, they actually a lot of those women, Bianca, Naomi, Jordan Grace, Bayley, even Nia Jackson. That's kind of crazy to fucking imagine. Like she actually helped perform pretty well in the women's Royal Rumble for that matter. For those who or kind of pick or what kind of poke fun and we're calling like the walking hazard. See, Becky Lynch is one of those one of those female wrestlers. Like, I don't mind on weekly television, but when it comes to her getting anywhere in NXT, which that's where I have a problem. And that's kind of where and that's where the reason why that kind of turned me away from NXT for a little bit because you had a main roster star win the NXT championship, which should never have happened in the first place. But it's also kind of crazy too to finally see. Good to see the Bruiserweight back. And boom, and Talbot stomped to the elbow, courtesy of Pete Dunne. And no, thank God, Butch is dead. At the same time, bring back his well. Then again, and a lot of people say bring back his own theme, but the problem is when you have that thing with CFOs kind of expired. Oh, nice little head scissors takedown. But it looks like Cruz Del or Walking Wild. Now Tyler Bate with his own head scissors and nice poison run up by Cruz Del Toro, and has another head scissors takedown by Pete Dunne. Obviously, both 2 out of the 14. Well, here's the thing, RC. They already did get the Bruiserweight's pretty much back. Because remember, I think it was not the SmackDown before, but I think it was the previous, I think it was the week before the Royal Rumble, or I don't remember what episode of SmackDown it was, but they really heavily teased the return of the Bruiserweight. And obviously, courtesy with what Tyler Bates said, pretty much that you don't have an identity. Like, who are you? And that really kind of set him with Pete Dunne at that time, or I'm sorry, Butch at that time, before they actually, got back to the Bruiserweight. And obviously wearing the same gear he came up with. Also at the same time, also kind of great to see him smack the ever-living shit out of Enzo. Which, by the way, too, which was the most stupidest decision I ever seen by this company to have them break. And, nice little by Walking Wild taking out the competition. And the same second row, looks like a splash to the outside that I saw the clip from NXT. But we also cut to commercial right now. But yeah, man, it's been pretty fun tonight. But overall, I mean, besides Pretty Deadly, you also got Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. At the same time, you also got the LWO, which was Cruz Del Toro and Joaquin Wild. But at the same point, like I said, yeah. Oh God, yeah, that clip, that was actually kind of pretty funny. But, I've always liked Cruz Del Toro and Joaquin Wild because I always put on some good matches too. I'm really intrigued to see Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. I think she could have been better suited for Raw from how she works. But then again, I don't know. I think Tiffany Stratton would have been better suited for Raw, in my honest opinion. But then again, maybe I guess you got something. Well, we'll see. I've seen that too, because I've seen there was a report about that, like what brand she was going to go to. Because I've always said I think she fits Raw. She's got that character where it fits Raw better than SmackDown. And seeing her with the SmackDown contract, I'm intrigued. Don't get me wrong. I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out. If it plays out pretty well, then fine. I got no issues with it. But to the opposite side of this, I mean, you've seen a lot of women kind of not say imitate Trish Stratus, but kind of idolize Trish and what she kind of, I would say, represented for the women's division. Well, I think at the time was, for the women's division at that time. And yeah, I mean, look, I've liked what I see with, goddamn, but with Tiffany Stratton, I mean, look, she's pretty much WWE's version of Barbie. Let's keep it a buck here. But we are back from commercial with the Fatal 4-Way Championship Qualifier and the other tag team, which is Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, who, quite honestly, they got potential in this tag division. and obviously challenged the Judgment Day for the tag titles. And honestly, I swear to God, in which I will get something off my chest, because if they're not, if Damian Priest does not cash in at Mania, then then what's the point of him winning the damn briefcase? Which I know a lot of people have their frustrations with that, and I don't know. It really is one of those things. Fuck no. I've always said that Pretty Deadly was. Oh God, what was the tag team? Oh my God. Oh God, I'm having a brain fart now. Was it no, it's not the Fashion Police. Oh my God, what was that tag team with Fandango and Tyler Breeze? Could it be the Fashion Police? Oh my God, that tag name is escaping my brain. Oh my God, now we got nice little follow through suplex by Pete Dunne. Oh, and a mean ass forearm to the jaw of Joaquin Wilde, and now we got Pete Dunne eating a boot. Yeah, that's kind of what they remind me. And I can't. Oh, and Tyler Bate breaks the count at 2, and oh God, what a right! And it's like I couldn't think of the damn tag team name, which is going to drive my brain insane. And we're going for a spin, courtesy of nice little combination by Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. 1, 2, no. It's like Angel Garza breaking up the count. And LWO kind of taking in control. God. Looks like now we got Cruz del Toro. Oh. Electro Lopez kind of getting in. Oh, and there's Selena Vega kind of getting involved. Now Zelina Vega now assisting. Breezango, thank you. I could not freaking remember. Oh, nice little meteor. Good grief. Well, that should tell you, like, they've been really forgotten. And I got Pete Dunne. Oh, nice little roll up. 1, 2, no. There's a 2 count. Nope. Nice tuck the clothesline into a forearm. Like Kit Wilson. Now Elton Prince is going to welcome to the Joint Manipulation Club. Oh, God. I'm sorry, but just the way that Pete Dunne with the joint manipulation is just that shit has got to probably hurt. Nice combination offense. 1, 2, 3. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate advance. Will take on the Judgment Day. It's good to see the Bruiserweight back. I'm actually kind of intrigued that actually they kind of improved his gear with the last time he was with the Bruiserweight. So, yep. So it looks like it's going to be the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest taking on Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. But later on tonight, you got obviously what happened backstage. Meechin taking on Tiffany Stratton, who slapped the ever living shit out of Meechin. Oh. I'm very surprised, but hey. Well, let's say we're okay. So no commercial break there. I'm very surprised. But obviously with Wade Barrett and Corey Graves on commentary, which I'm very intrigued. I have no issues with this pairing whatsoever. And look, me and Tara have always, not just me, not me and Tara, but most of the wrestling fans know that how unbearable Kevin Patrick is on commentary, because the dude, I swear, this dude's like more close than a sack of potatoes. Damn, that's great. That's crazy, RC. That should tell you how long. But showing last Monday, even though I was probably I didn't even last year we didn't stream it that one because I was fucking tired. Yeah, true. And I was, and obviously showing Nia Jax doing the little Vader bump, or I would say courtesy of obviously paying homage to Yokozuna. I don't know why Yokozuna almost escaped my fucking brain for whatever reason. So we're gonna see it. Also, Becky's gonna, or not say Becky, but Bailey's gonna make her decision. So we're gonna have two. We got Bailey and Cody are gonna make their decisions tonight on SmackDown. But now we cut to back to most of the like, which and sometimes I love my buddy Gooley, but Gooley sometimes I hate you when you're right sometimes. But if we're gonna get this Black Lotus faction that you're saying we might see if Damage Control does disintegrate, I got no problems with that. But now, this is kind of interesting seeing Bailey kind of standing in the doorway with a concerned look on her face. But either way, man, so far it's been a decent episode. And another thing too, me and Tyler will always nitpick some of the flaws with SmackDown. Then again, at the same time, we do a little bit slightly with Raw, but Raw has been pretty consistent. I mean, boy, and yes, there was a few times where me and Tyler were mentally checked, and that's another thing too. I really hope they do is put Raw back to 2 hours because let's bro, that third goddamn hour is boring because you can get a lot of shit in 2 hours than 3. Yeah, but look, that's. I mean, look, if you want good long-term storytelling, that's what you got to do, and Triple H knows about that. And I think at the same time, I think it was when Punk came back, there was a lot of callbacks, not just from Punk, but also when he had Seth and Jinder on that Raw episode, a callback to the very first iteration of NXT when they were in both. I think with that tournament final. I know it's kind of crazy that I rewatched that match on YouTube. Was the fact that you have two guys and that I think it might have been a tournament, but I'm not entirely too sure what the format was. But just seeing a young and let's put on gender and well, kind of my thoughts on Jinder Mahal's, and I know a lot of wrestling fans, it's not their mixed bag of onions, so to speak. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Sorry, I had to take a swig of my Mountain Dew. Obviously, you can't really see most of the bottle because my green screen. But at the same time, yeah, I know the ad breaks is really ridiculous, but what can you do if you're WWE, and especially the fact that in 2025, was it 2020? Was it this? No, I think it might have been 2025. I could be wrong. With SmackDown going to USA, thank God for I credit to Fox for not putting up with this. Like we're trying to get on WWE's ass a ton because the ratings were well. And here's the thing: if WWE's ratings were not as, and yes, and that was started at the time when you had, good lord, when you have Vince kind of running a lot of other shit. Which, thank God, all the shit that happened to him. And true, RC, and obviously the last Raw, for those who see the last Raw episode, I was checked out at the third hour. I was right. I was so mentally checked out the third hour. I didn't bother calling any matches, but just watch the damn thing. And that kind of goes back to my point. The third hour of Raw is unnecessary. And also too, I will say this too: the 22nd, maybe Friday and Saturday, here's the thing: Saturday you may not see anything, because that's going to be one of our off days. But Friday you're probably not going to see a SmackDown because I will be I'm going to be attending a 2-nighter event for TNA Impact that's coming to Philly in late March as kind of a way to do my own little pre-celebration to my 27th birthday on the 28th, which is kind of crazy. Even though, let's be I do not want to leave my 20s, but we have to grow. We're gonna have to. And obviously, with WrestleMania 40, here's the funny thing about that is too. Well, the soap opera. I mean, granted, yeah, there's an argument to be made. Yeah, people complain about that, but it really helps bring the story, whatever the storyline you're bringing out. It really works. Let's be real. I haven't, like I said, I have not been to well, not just a TNA, but any wrestling. But I haven't been to wrestling event since 2016. The last time, if I remember correct, the last pay per view that came to Philadelphia was the Money in the Bank. Or no, I'm sorry, was it Money in the Bank or Royal Rumble? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. It was the Royal Rumble that came to Philly. Was it 2015? I think it might have been 2015. I can't remember, but it's been a long ass fucking time for that matter. But like I said, I'll try to get a lot, or try at least somewhat vlog my experience at the TNA show, on Friday and Saturday, because let's be real, it's going to be really worth it. Because like I said, I want to do something, because let's be real, I haven't really done much on my own. Because let's be real, as I'm getting older, I got no plan. I don't want to do nothing. That's the thing, once you got to kind of know about me, look, I'm going to be 20, grief. Yeah, I'm going to be 27 at the end of March. And it kind of got me thinking, it's like, maybe I should do something on my own for a change, actually go out, and have my own type of fun. And yes, I know Tyra got a little bit, so I told Tyra about it, that I'm going to try to either go to the two-nighter, or at least try to go to the Friday TV taping, for TNA Impact, because obviously with TNA being back in 2024, which is kind of crazy to believe, I wanted to try something different, because I know I missed out. And yeah, the WWE ticket prices, when they come to Philly, it wasn't really the best, which kind of sucked. Couldn't really do much for AEW, because at the time I was in school, well, college at that point, and also working a part-time job, which kind of made a lot more things difficult. So I had to miss on a couple of times when they came back to Philly. I think it was October, but then again, shout out to Key, who actually went and obviously saved me the trouble, because let's be real, AEW has been boring. As of recently, that's why you have guys probably haven't really seen AEW a lot on this channel. You've been seeing a lot of WWE and sometimes NXT, even TNA for that matter, on this channel, because AEW is like, AEW is just right now is in this really weird place where it's like, it's hard to digest it. Literally digest a 2-hour show, which should not have any fucking problems with that. But in case with AEW, with Tony Khan and all this nonsense that's been going on, it's been rough. And I'm definitely going to try to go to base some more Phillies games in the future, because let's be real, that's my go-to. But it's going to be one of those things. It's like the only one. So it looks like Bailey is going to be the first one to make her decision to see like who is going to be her opponent for WrestleMania. Now, boy, if they do that, realistically, I think go after Io Sky, but it doesn't make any sense to go after Rhea, who's on the Raw roster. But we're going to wait and see. We'll see it's the moment. Well, not just here's the thing. Bailey's one moment, and now we got to wait for Cody, who's going to be on the show later tonight, to make his decision. Like I said, realistically, go after Roman, take the damn belt off him, and be done with this bullshit that they're doing with Roman, and send him all to whatever Roman wants the fuck to do. And I greatly appreciate Roman for what he's given us, despite the fact, getting shoved down our throats. Oh God. Since 2014? Oh, that would be funny as shit. That would be funny. But at the same time, that kind of will ruin it for me, in my quite honest opinion. It's just one of those things. It's like, I don't care for squash matches. Let's say if it's a competitive squash match, that's a whole different conversation. Yeah, pretty much at that point. And then, that's going to piss a lot of people of the IWC on social media and shit like that. But Obviously, we almost got Adam Pierce now in the ring. God, man, kind of feel bad for him at the last on multiple occasions. The fact that, man, I need a drink. Yeah, that's true. You know, I'm actually kind of happy for her that she's actually going to main event WrestleMania. Because I mean, she's come. Don't get me wrong, she's come a long way. Like even if it was just one of those women that's part of the probably the best era of NXT wrestling in terms of what the WWE had to offer in NXT Black and Gold with Bailey, Charlotte. God, I really hate to say that, but Charlotte actually did pretty well in NXT. Becky, and yes, I know Nia really didn't have the proper development as we're seeing now. Yeah, which by the way, too, Mercedes Moné is going to show up in AEW in March. For those who are wondering, and honestly, and here's the thing. And like I said, I'll talk. There's some because there's a thing that me and Tara really touched on, which I'll talk it after whenever the segment's over. Yeah, making moments, making history. Because I mean, we've seen a lot of history made at WrestleMania. Got or like one match in particular, especially when Trevor talks about the women's division, Sasha Banks and an upcoming Bianca Belair, which boy, that was a fucking banger for that word. And yes, and that was before I think the pandemic, or is it during the pandemic? Might have been before the pandemic era. Like I said, I can't remember the life of me, for that matter. A fight, a different fight, she says. I mean, that's true. Credit to Bailey, though. I mean, despite the fact that she put in what a torn, like a busted knee, been on TV for a while, and she did a lot. Don't get me wrong, and obviously from the hugger gimmick, which by the way, her super fan Izzy. Obviously, it's great to see what she's doing in the pro wrestling business. Obviously, kind of paying a little homage to the Bailey's old gimmick, which is kind of awesome to see. So she said, "You done like." Oh, Bailey had okay, a little Japanese coming from Bailey. Oh boy, it looks. Yeah, I mean, like Bailey, just she was like not super over the top, but she was very believable with the kind of gimmick she's had. Oh boy, but I don't think that's going to happen. It seems, and the crowd reaction is getting out too with the belly chants from the Birmingham crowd. And there we go. Kind of a bit of a preview of seeing Bailey getting. Oh, looks like that's Adam. Well, RC, I know you kind of been out of Raw a little bit. That's Adam Pierce, who was the GM of Raw. Wow. See him kind of explode and just seeing Bailey actually speak really clean Japanese too, which is intriguing. Well, I mean, it looks like we're going to get Bailey getting kicked out. Okay, I got a lead. Okay, with a lead pipe. Interesting. Hmm. Well, it is official. It's Bailey and Io. Well, I think we all knew this was going to happen because it makes a lot of sense. Because they've been doing this for, well, I thought they actually were doing this pretty good for months. It's with the slow progression, the slow burn of Bailey. I would have no problems with that. Give her one. I don't think she was never that bad of a champ. But coming up next, we got a 6-man tag team match with Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, taking on the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross and AOP. And obviously, it will be but yeah, like I said, yeah, especially if you talk about from the Raw roster side of things, absolutely. And yeah, I know I've seen a lot of people kind of really complain of Rhea's title reign, but you got to really think of the competition she's faced. It's not, like I said, Raw has not that strong women's division on Raw. Outside of Becky Lynch, which makes perfect sense from a booking perspective. Yeah, like I said, the tag match, and this is why, like, you see like TNA and maybe AEW and New Japan, they kind of try to like do something different with their tag matches, and that's kind of what WWE. Yeah, they are. It's been like that for, good Lord, for feels like years. But I don't have no issues with it. If you do this right, it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, if they put on a good match, I'll be happy. That's all I care about, is just seeing good quality matches and stuff like that. It's really, really not that really. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm a sticker for some things, but I don't really. And yes, the tag wrestling in WWE has been very disappointing. Don't get me wrong. And that also sends back. Yes, and that also sends back to having Vince in the company, who despises tag team wrestling because, like, oh, you need these big meaty men and all this bullshit. Like, literally, having guys like that is one thing, sure. But tag wrestling, and in my honest opinion, I actually like that kind of format because, like, it gives you something. Yes, I know nowadays it's kind of like the standard tag match, depending on who you're asking, that sort of thing. And I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me. I know it's. But like I said, we'll see come Mania. On, I'm definitely going to be streaming it. Don't. That's going to be for sure. But at the same time, just gotta wait for Cody Rhodes to make his decision later on tonight. God damn. But like I said, it's one of those things. It's like, and we kind of expected what's going to happen, and I think Io's going to get a bigger stardom. And look, but I don't really think that her title reign has been that impressive in my eyes. Well, I might be pointing that out, but the truth is, like, it's been. What have they really done with that? Honestly, I really hate to say this, but I think Io as champ was kind of boring. It was boring, plain and flat. And look, she's not a bad wrestler. Don't ever get that twisted. But as a champion, I'm not a fan of it. Like, look, it's nice to see, Io finally get some singles gold, but what have they done recently in terms of, from a booking perspective, to show she's a capable champion? That's something to really think about. I don't know, man. Am I the only one that's actually going? Well, that actually has pointed that out, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's pointed that out. Of this, it's not a crappy title run. Don't get me wrong, but it's just poor. It just had a lot of question marks around it. If I'm going to be completely honest, But I mean, we'll see. And yes, at the same time, we all knew. I don't see the last. Yeah, well, the last year's WrestleMania wasn't really that bad. Actually, it was actually pretty good for what it was. Now, yes, there was an argument to be made. You could have pulled the trigger right there, then and there with Cody. But time for a six-man tag match. The Final Testament. AOP and Karrion Kross. Now, the thing with AOP, as good as of a tag team that can be, they just got to stay healthy. That's all I have to say about that. But, hey, it is what it is. But, hey, it's. But if you guys also like want to talk some Russ, like if you guys want to hear talk some, if you want me to talk some Russ, especially when it comes for obviously the fallout from Vengeance Day on Sunday, or to follow episode. Hey, look, I don't hate it because at the same time, number one, I think this is going to hopefully do wonders for Karrion Kross to go over, because when he first got brought back, I thought I had high hopes for him, but ever since then, that's the problem with, and like I said, and that's what that's the thing. Yeah, you can fault Triple H for that to an extent, but at the same time, he's also cleaning up the mess that Vince fucking left behind. I'm going to keep it 100. WWE, in terms of the women's division, and obviously, which, let's be real, the women's tag belts should never been a fucking thing. And obviously, the fact you have it on the Kabuki Warriors, who should look, don't get me wrong, I was going to have them as the next tag team holding those belts, but the fact you took it so soon off Kaden and Katana, which never sit well with me. And this, but damn, already starting with an all-out brawl before even the bell rings between the Final Testament and, I would say, pretty much say Hurt Business 2.0, even they're not calling it that. But I still think it's still going to be, it's still the Hurt Business 2.0, whether how you look at it at the end of the day. But if you guys want to, now I want to give you guys opinions on some. Do you guys want me to talk some wrestling news during commercial breaks, or at the same time, while I'm also calling matches, because I can do that too and implement that. And a nice little slam by Bobby Lashley to Karrion Kross. I try to go Scarlett, and I'll kind of try to get involved. And BFAB with interesting. And Bailey, I'm sorry, that's Lashley with a spear. Okay, I'm okay. But obviously, this turned out to be no contest, so yeah. Well, here's the thing, Kross, like I said, Kross always had that potential to be a star, and we saw that when he was with Impact as Killer Kross. But the problem is, well, it's not even the match. They just pretty much just threw this match out because with Scarlett and BFAB getting involved, which For me, I don't really care for these no contest bullshit. But I would not be surprised if we get this rematch. Now we're seeing Braun Breaker with his SmackDown contract. That's Adam Pearce kind of convincing Braun Breaker. So Braun Breaker's got a bit of a choice. Okay, so it looks like we're going to see. And at this. Jade Cargill. I see. Also to see Jade Cargill on SmackDown. But well, like I said, we'll see and stuff like that. But well, here's the thing. And I think a good buddy of mine on Twitter actually pointed this out too, because I think this is kind of smart. You know, they're going to, even though like having not having that match take place is was smart in one thing, but at the same time, you can also see that to the Elimination Chamber and get that out of the goddamn way from a booking perspective. Well, here's another women's match I'm actually going to be intrigued to see. Tiffany Lesbrio, that's the way. I mean, Tiffany Stratton is WWE's version of Barbie. That's kind of it really does work for her. She kind of with the mean girl gimmick. I'm all for it for this. But coming up next, it is Mission and Tiffany Stratton here on SmackDown. While I think, well, I guess I gotta save Cody for the best for last at the end of the show. And coming up next, that is next. And just seeing, like, literally, excuse me. Sorry about that. Well, while we, of course, this is a movie I'm not going to be too excited for, and that's Madam Web. I feel anybody, because let's be real, movies nowadays, they kind of suck. Look, Madam Web is one thing. Look, in terms of the Marvel characters, I was actually kind of hyped that she met. Look, Madam Web getting her own solo movie, not the greatest idea. Well, here's the thing. Her debut was at the Rumble in terms of if you talk about her main roster debut. But this is going to be her first SmackDown match. Dune 2, I've heard it's going to be good. But just a certain movies, they just suck. You know, it really does stink for that matter. And Madam Web is just one of those movies I could care fucking less about. I know this is coming from a Spider-Man fan who has watched every single goddamn episode of Spider-Man the animated series on Disney Plus. I just don't think Madam Web getting her own solo movie is not the best way to go. Because I see the way I would see this is have Madam Web kind of integrate herself within like the Spider-Verse and shit like that. It does, but I think that movie's gonna flop at the box office. I'm calling this right now. I'm pretty sure it's gonna flop harder than fucking Morbius. And yes, I sat my ass through fucking not the theater, but when I watched on I think it was an HBO Max, I think it was before they actually went to Max or they reran it to Max. Regardless, Morbius was not that intriguing either. And yeah, I know Sony, let's put on the last 20 years, has put up some 3 good, well, technically 2 Spider-Man movies actually were actually pretty good and still hold up pretty well. Spider-Man 3, good. Well, I'm going to be one of those minorities that actually kind of liked it, but at the same time, I had my questions. You know, what if Sam Raimi actually had the say and, you know, that movie could have been a lot different than what we're given. Honestly, having Topher Grace's Venom was the stupidest decision I've ever seen. And And granted, the only thing good about it was, and finally they actually got the actual logo, the comic representation of the logo, even though it should have been white. Well, maybe that's my only sticker for that. But and again, Tom Hardy played a better Eddie Brock for that matter, which was actually, I'm sorry, but and yes, Carnage, Venom Leopard Carnage was not terrible, but wasn't great. It was just meh. But I enjoyed it nonetheless because I mean I like to give Carnage an opportunity. Yeah, that's true. But the thing was with Madam Web, it's like they're trying too hard, and Sony, I would say, oh good lord, I would say the last 5 years. I've seen the first Captain Marvel, which I thought obviously was really good. The Marvels, I would say it was just an utter waste of time for me. Look, I appreciate seeing Miss Marvel getting her opportunity. For those who do remember the Avengers, yeah, I've seen the first Captain Marvel, but like I said, the Marvels. Well, I could care fucking less for that. And just from hearing a lot of what people are saying and stuff like that, and seeing some of the clips and whatnot, it isn't great. What? Well, coming up, making her way down the ring is Michin, accompanied by the Good Brothers. And Tiffany Stratton has that resting bitch face, basically. Well, next Friday at 8, yeah, SmackDown coming to Charlotte, North Carolina. Tickets on sale with Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster can, for all I care, intensive purposes, can kiss my rear end. Like I said, we'll go through our sponsor break after, and the bell is wrong, and we're already underway. Oh God, it already coming out with a sharp drop kick. And already, with Michi now throwing some mean rights and left on WWE's Mean Girl. And face full of the first top turnbuckle goes Tiffany Stratton 3 times, 4 times. Oh, man, I was going to say, if we do it 5 times, it'd be 5 times, 5 times, 5 times. Nice little hard Irish whip. Oh, God, with a nice little kick to the chest. Now with the ground and pound by Michin. And a lot of people don't really, and I know a lot of people, which kind of crazy too, which I will talk about in just a bit, that with Mia Yim, with the Michin name change, it was for, of her being of Korean descent. It means, crazy, insane in Korean. So I was actually all for, originally I was opposed to that, but just seeing, that was on her own doing, then, I kind of actually respect it. And now pretty much Michin now in control over Tiffany Stratton at the moment. And Michin, nice little shot basement drop kick. But as well, we'll see. We'll see. But besides that, let's hear a quick word for today's sponsors of Friday Night SmackDown. Have you thought about saving money on tickets, whether it's sporting events, concerts, wrestling events, etc.? Use my promo code Philly Sports at checkout to save $20 off your order. That is PHILLYSPORTS, Philly Sports, to save $20 off. If you're a Twitch streamer, late night gamer, or YouTuber, check out W Energy. It's the perfect pick-me-up for every occasion, so why not try it for yourself? Go to w.gg and use the promo code SportsWrestle10 at checkout to save 10% off your order. Golfers and sports enthusiasts, it's time to take your game to the next level with Shankit Golf. Shop at shankitgolf.com and use promo code SportsWrestle15 to get 15% off your order and free shipping on orders over $100. If you're a top-tier high school or college athlete, a veteran in the men's league, coaches needing uniforms, or even an enthusiastic little leaguer needing bats, gloves, batting gloves, etc., we've got you covered. Right now, you can give your performance an extra boost by entering the promo code SportsWrestle10 at checkout so you can save 10% off your entire order. Are you looking to make a statement with your very own custom jersey? Go to fansidea.com and use the promo code SportsWrestle10 at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. Absolutely. Give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors from SeatGeek. Obviously, especially at this time of the year, for those who are going to any concerts for that matter, especially with concert season coming around the corner, going to baseball games, or college football, heck, even college basketball for that matter. And go to SeatGeek.com, or if you have the mobile app as well, use our promo code Philly Sports. Like I said, all the promo codes you guys have seen on the screen from our different sponsors are in capital letters. Just letting you guys know. Like I said, we got you guys. We're going to be hooking you guys up with SeatGeek. Say $20 off or with our promo code Philly Sports. And for those who are looking for all natural energy and not this processed bullshit, W Energy is the way to go. Like I said, give a quick shout out to W. For those who are golfers, for that matter, looking for some nice apparel and stuff like that, Shaking Golf's a place good, another place good to go as well. And also custom jerseys too. For that matter, Fans Idea is the best place to go. Obviously, you can shout out to a couple of guys of my crew or my friends here at the Sports Wave Network who have got some stuff from Fans Idea, which is a good place to go. If you guys want like cheap custom jerseys, but also at some good quality, use Sports Wrestle 10 at checkout to save 10% off. Like I said, we got you guys hooked up, and also check the merch shop, which is linked in the description down below, and also in the link tree down below. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff, some good stuff, guys, coming for y'all on this channel. But outside of that, while we get some wrestling news, so we did have a report about 6 hours ago. Vince McMahon drafted and signed NDAs without WWE's knowledge. NDAs may not be enforceable. Oh boy, it's going to be interesting. But we are back from commercial break. And Tiffany Stratton, oh, nice little hip attack. Oh, and a little basement drop kick covered by Tiffany. 1, 2, no. Only a 2 count for Tiffany Stratton. All right, Tiffany, are we doing some trash talking? Oh, man. And Meechin with a forearm to a chop. Now multiple chops and forearms. And almost there was some little body shots from Meechin. Oh, nice little spinning back kick. Nice little drop kick. Oh, and a little uppercut. Looks like we're going for a little Shattered Dreams action. Oh, into a code breaker. Jesus. Little knees to the face, covered by Meechin. 1, 2. Oh, and just somehow got the foot on the rope from Tiffany. NXT Vengeance Day this Sunday. And also you can catch it on Peacock as well. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And obviously a little dragging down by the hair by Tiffany Stratton, who nice little cartwheel. Oh, nice. What the power into an Alabama slam. 1, 2, no. Nice little kick to the midsection into a defeat, I guess, from Meechin. And and Tiffany Stratton with a Firewoman's carry. Nice little roll through. And for the prettiest moonsault ever, he connects. Covered by Stratton. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's okay. It was an okay match, but good showing by Tiffany Stratton. I gotta be. Yeah. When you have a freaking lead pipe in your hand, you're always one step ahead. Her speaking Japanese a little bit kind of surprised me. Don't get me wrong. But question of the mind coming up next. Cody Rhodes makes his decision here on Friday Night SmackDown. Let's be real. It's gonna be Roman. Let's be completely freaking honest. Like, this is, unless you want to go in a different direction, sure. I know a lot of people are not gonna like it, but well, who gives a flying fuck? But then again, and a lot of people say, let's say, oh, you called him whatnot. Like, first of all, we all knew Bailey was going after EO. You knew where the story with her and Damage Control was going. But if it turns out to be a banger match, shoot, I got no issues. And that's another thing too with EO. Like, her reign as champion hasn't really been that great, but her talent and her wrestling ability is really been good. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, don't get that twisted. But like I said, her championship reign has been meh. It's been hard to digest, so to speak. And I know that's gonna really might turn off some people a little bit, but maybe that's just me. That's maybe how I feel. And yes, but that's shit. I forgot he's actually 3-0 against Seth Rollins. I completely forgot about that. Because the only other time I remember him even wrestling Seth Rollins was at the 11 Hell in a Cell, which, good grief. Credit to him on a freaking torn pectoral muscle, for crying out loud. And that's the crazy part. But hey, it's pretty interesting, though. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Well, we'll see. Well, look, that's kind of given. Look, we all kind of know that, and yes, like I said, I really do hope Bailey takes the damn belt off her, or at least give her a different, fresh look, and actually have and have Bailey finally turn babyface after. Because let's bro, this heel run is kind of run its course for. God, it feels like a freaking long ass time. Now we see a little. They got 600 days as the IC. Damn, it's been that fucking long. I think. Well, here's the thing. Naomi's going to be more suited for SmackDown, and I think Nia Jax could be an option. But I think realistically, if you want to put this from a respectable booking decision, is probably Becky Lynch, because when you look at it from Rhea to Becky, and that's pretty much everyone else. Because, like I said, I and that's why I say that's why I think SmackDown will always have the better women's division, because there's like different options you can go to. Yeah, that's true. But Nick Aldis next week on SmackDown would announce Logan Paul's next challenger. I swear to God, I hope it's fucking LA Knight, because the dude needs a fucking singles title at this point. Because I know I've been saying that for a good while. We'll say. But well, we got Roman making his way out, which no surprise. No, but champion for. And actually, it's kind of crazy too. I've seen one TikTok creator actually point this out that in terms of you look at because obviously with Roman being the Universal Champ for over 1,200 days, it seems to me like look. Hmm. That that could be interesting to see, but oh, good lord. So it's gonna be interesting to work what Cody go. Damn. But it's gonna be interesting though. Don't get me wrong. But hey, man, I gotta say, so far, if I have to give this SmackDown a rating, I would say probably an 8.5. At least this one's actually a little bit better than. Like I said, I haven't really watched last week because, like I said, it's been I just wasn't really feeling it. So I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Honestly, it was a lot better than obviously than last Friday on SmackDown. If I'm going to be completely honest, and hopefully at some point. But I mean, yeah, throw the ones up. I could care fucking less. Oh, I just can't wait for the day that Roman drops the belt and just puts him on his ass for a while, or whatever he wants to do outside of this company. That's all. That's all I want to see. Oh, obviously Jay Uso with the new Yeet shirt. Well, it sounds like we're getting Rocky chants among the WWE universe here in Birmingham. So we'll get to him. And let's bro. best heel, even though Let's Real has been for far too long. The fact you have to wait this, well, I think was it back in 2020, finally pulled the trigger on him, become the tribal chief. Yeah, with his cousin The Rock taking little shots at Roman. Well, I mean, maybe, but at the same time, you're just and Solo's going to find a way to pretty much fuck everything up for Roman. If they're going to do the Rock and Roman match, or I would say, well, here's the thing, if they're going to do Rock or Roman, or do a triple threat, which I don't know a lot of people are going to really like that, but I will say. Okay, looks like why am I feeling it's like this is some solo shots at Seth Rollins? A nice little rocking the red Jays. Nah, you know what? I'll give Roman that. Even though I know a lot of people hate his part time schedule, but he does have a reason for it. The dude's been through so much fucking shit with it in terms of from his health wise, and as well as he's not getting younger anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much all about Seth. Well, I mean, realistically, he's going to take his shot at being number one. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting though. Shout out to everyone that's been in the chat though and hanging out with me tonight because I know, like I say, you probably would see me and Tyler, but like I said, Tyler with all the technical problems he's been dealing with today, so it's been pretty much been me for the last hour and 45 minutes. Well, at the time we're streaming right now, it's hour 44. But either way, I greatly appreciate anyone that's coming in, and actually hanging out for Friday Night Smackdown. And like I said, we'll be back at it again. Well, I'll be back at it again on Sunday for NXT Vengeance Day. Obviously with my buddy Mal Gooley, which will be streaming, multi-streaming in from this channel, Gooley's channel, and a lot of other social media platforms as well. So it's hopefully it's going to be good. So it looks like it's going to be a good show. I mean, Trick Williams and Ilya Dragunov, but if here's my thing, if you ever want to call up an NXT talent that actually is ready, or if you want to have someone don't go there, I would definitely start off with Ilya Dragunov because if he goes, guys, if you do have Peacock, go back to that matchup. Or I think the few matches that they had at NXT UK. Ilya Dragunov and Gunther really tore the house down on NXT UK. And I really hope at some point we'll do get that because I really do think Ilya, like Dragunov's just one of those guys, will make anybody look good. No matter if you've been in the business for a long time, like himself, Gunther, and probably many others. But at the same time, you can make new stars with him. I mean, look, it'll be interesting to watch, and maybe, but as I said, it's gonna be a lot of fun Sunday night. So you guys don't want to miss that. For those who do like NXT content, um, even though I'm the only one that covers it, because well, seems like no one nowadays. It's like NXT is not really that. Not saying hot commodity, just like no one really. Well, I mean, I've seen some certain content creators. Shout out to y'all who you know who you are. Covering NXT, which is great to see because I've seen a lot of people just really hate on NXT for no goddamn reason. It's like, oh, like this is the worst brand in the industry, and yada yada yada. Spewing a lot of bullshit, basically. And the only like I said, the only knock I have with NXT at times is the writing, or or maybe Shawn Michaels' ideas of doing things. Because quite honestly, if you really think about it, Triple H is basically what made NXT very popular. Obviously, between 2012, I think what up till 2016, 2017, probably even 2018. If you're thinking of that, guys like Andrade, even with the women like Rhea, Bianca, Bianca, almost forgot about her. Becky, Charlotte, and much as I fucking hate to say it, but I mean, Charlotte's got to get her credit due for being part of one of the best eras of NXT. This is the way how I look at it, even though me and Tara give Charlotte a lot of crap, and for good reason, because she doesn't look like she can't really wrestle as much, and it kind of sucks that she's dealing with suffered a major knee injury, which you really do hate any wrestler for that matter, whether you like him or hate him. You don't like seeing him get hurt. That's just all I gotta say about that. So, and obviously, it's kind of great to see the Liberty Bell for the WrestleMania logo, because it makes me happy for someone who lives outside like 5 minutes away from Philadelphia. And yes, like I said before, I was originally intended to go, but when I look at the ticket prices now, it's like, yeah, I would rather stay in the comforts of my own home, or even here in my studio, which is basically my bedroom, for those who are wondering. And yes, also implement a green screen probably late last year. So I've been doing Birmingham, Bama. What do you want to talk about? Yes, we all know how this shtick goes. Well, surprisingly, we're actually not going for that. His typical promo shtick. Talk about. Well, then again, I'm wrong. And Roman doesn't like he doesn't even. It's not that impressed. It's basically what's going to happen. Because I mean, you got Solo, you got Roman, you got Jimmy or Jay. I'm sorry, because Jimmy's on. No, Jimmy's on Raw, I think. Okay, so it's interesting. So we're gonna see most of the bloodline leave the ring, but then again, knowing Solo, Solo's gonna find. Here's the thing: I think Solo's gonna be one of the expert, not just trying to get involved, but for some reason, I have a feeling that Roman, but Solo's gonna somehow screw Roman, and that's really what's gonna set Roman over the edge. And well, then we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I'm going to do a Raw as well. Like I said, me and Sarah we'll do a Raw. We do Raw. I'll do pretty much. I'm pretty much do NXT. As well most of the time every Tuesday at 8. At the same time, we're also going to be live for WCW Nitro. I think. Yeah, as well. Obviously, we're bringing back. Like I said, we're bringing back the retro watch parties because originally we pretty much cut it out because obviously with the Vince, trafficking allegations, and when that lawsuit came out and that disgusting court, or when you look at that court filing, that just was just like I said, we're always live Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm sorry, because we also cover TNA Impact. Obviously we didn't do it this past week or yesterday because, like I said, when we're not feeling it, number two, like I was just tired. Because I only sat through one match of TNA before I completely fell asleep in my chair. And that should tell you, like, well, being Mm. It's gonna be interesting though. Maybe. I mean, he did kind of say, like he's gonna be Roman Reigns if they're gonna fully blow up the bloodline, make that come true. Be a tribal chief without his tribe, and obviously saying Solo is not ready for any championship gold because Cody was in that same situation years ago when he first broke in. Exactly, and that's no surprise that Cody's going after Roman. I'm not. Whoa! Not at. Whoa! 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 So not taking out Roman at Mania? Oh shit! Oh my god! We got the fucking Rocky. Are you kidding me? Oh my god! Well, shit. In all sports, and right, and yes, at the same time. So we got The Rock on SmackDown. And let's be real, his new theme. Wow. So why do I have a feeling this is going to set up to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania? Because if that is the case, you pretty much get best of both worlds. You still get the here's the thing. Actually, you know what? Actually, I'll take that back. I know a lot of people. I'm not gonna say myself's not gonna like it, but I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, Zach. Like I said, don't believe dirt sheets, man. Dirt sheets pretty much ruin everything. Because here's the thing, me and Charlie, we talked about this, I think, once or twice. Nowadays, like even today, I wish we this like if dirt if the internet were not spoiling a lot of shit, I think this would have been a lot like the IWC would have been a lot better off, kind of guessing and speculating that this sort of thing. And obviously, dirt sheets also those pretty much feeds the fuel to the fire. Oh, a little embrace from the Rock to Cody. So I'm in. Like I said, like not just that too. Sometimes they may just be full of bullshit. So Cody still hasn't. So why I have a feeling this is we're still gonna get the Rock and Roman at Mania, but for some reason I don't. Okay, this doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Hmm. So why do my yo yeah, trust me, I do the same shit. 'Cause if this is going to get Roman and Cody at the Chamber, eh, I could really care less for that. But here's the thing: the Rock and Roman, that really does scream Mania. It does scream WrestleMania. Don't get that twisted. But just, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel on this one. And that's how SmackDown goes. I'm sorry, but I got a few. Oh my lord! That's how SmackDown ends. I'm sorry, but that's a bunch of bullshit. Here's the okay. This is where I'm gonna okay. I oh good lord. Well, the Rumble, I feel like we kind of knew like who was gonna win those, the most from the men's and women's. But I'm sorry, dude. I don't know how to feel on that. That was a fucking shitty ass ending. If I want, like, literally, it was just a fucking face off and nothing less. Because here's the thing for me, like, I'm one of those stickers that want to see all hell breaking loose at the end of the night, and so it seems to me it looks like we're going to get Cody and Roman at the Chamber. Why? Why is that even a fucking thing? I mean, granted, yes, if you want to get the Rock and Roman at Mania, that's one thing. Even though, then again, there was been rumors about that from last year for at WrestleMania 39. Couldn't really do that. And here's the thing: you could have had this. Well, if you're going to have Rock and Roman, you should have had at least Cody take the belt off of Roman last year for that because that really just throws everything what you did out the fucking window. I'm sorry, but that's just look. I have a different way of feeling on things, and SmackDown tonight just it was okay, and this is where my problem with SmackDown really lies. It's like, what the fuck are they doing? Raw. I mean, look, Raw does. Yeah, the only knock with Raw is trying to book that third hour is a whole pain in the ass, probably, but that's besides the point. Honestly, look, all I'm saying is you could have had Cody take the belt off for Roman last year at WrestleMania. Then you could have set this match up, and we would be in this fucking situation. But besides that, they decided to say, "Oh, we're gonna keep the belt on Roman." Oh, sorry, but that's bullshit, dude. It really is. And this is why SmackDown, and this is why Fox doesn't really give a shit about SmackDown now. It's going to USA. I think going into next year. If that's going to be the case, I fucking hope not. But like I said, we'll see come the Chamber. Because like I said, I'm not going to be up and watching that because I'm going to be up. I'm going to be at work. But I'm saying nothing really happened with Roman, but there was only you had a face off between Roman and The Rock. But I don't know, man. This I'm not going to sleep well after this because this was absolutely nonsense. And look, what do I really mind for Rock and Roman? Hell fucking yes. But like I said before, you could have pulled the trigger a lot sooner on Cody last year when you were in Los Angeles at WrestleMania 39. But like I said, the fact you wasted up, first of all, that was a wasted fucking opportunity that right then and there. for Cody to win the entire damn thing. Plain and fucking simple. Another thing, which, like I said, I may or may not do another Drew McIntyre video because, like I said, me and Tara talked so much on Drew because, let's be real, I don't know how much longer does Drew put up with this bullshit and from a creative standpoint. Like, how much longer does he take, deal with this? Like I said, that's a hypothetical, but if you guys want to comment in the chat and stuff like that, give me your opinions. And also, too, for those who are going to comment in the comment section, let me know as well. But outside of that, that is another episode of a SmackDown watch party. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Like I said, I'm probably going to watch the replay of the Chamber because, first of all, the only time I'm getting up at 5 in the morning is for fucking work. That's besides the point. But outside of that, man, it's been. I know that. I'm sorry, but look, I know I'm starting over my freaking words because thank God for Fox actually realizing that SmackDown, depending on who you're asking, this was a bunch of nonsense. I mean, Tiffany Stratton looked pretty good. You're probably going to say that six-man tag match at the Chamber with AOP, with the Final Testament taking on the Street, or pretty much the Hurt Business 2.0 for that matter. Like I said, we do this we do this weekly, and like I said, and I will constantly weekly post our weekly streaming schedule in between. Then, obviously, to really round up this week, obviously Sunday, I'm going to be like I said, with NXT Vengeance Day. That's probably going to wrap up that week. I mean, you got Raw, and also too the It's Running podcast as well at 6 o'clock. I've almost forgot about that. Obviously Tuesdays usually that's going to be my NXT nights, and obviously me and Tyler's retro watch party. Obviously with WCW Nitro this week, or going into the next week. I'm sorry. But like I said, if you guys want to check out that streaming schedule, the stream schedule, it is up on the community tab, and you guys will see what we got coming up the next few days or so. But that's outside of that. Appreciate anyone that's hanging in there, who is actually hang out with me. Shout out to everyone. And that being said, have a good night, guys.